How about we do some settlement building?
What kind of help do you need?
Well, for starters, we could use some real beds. We've been sleeping on the ground for too long.
I'd be glad to help.
Okay, good deal. Just make sure we can sleep with a roof over our heads. Some of these old houses still look solid enough to do the trick. There's a workbench over there you can use. Give me a holler if you need anything.
Okay, so I guess that means don't just throw the beds anywhere, like in the middle of the street or down in the river. Go ahead and put them actually under a roof. Well, I guess we can do that.
Sanctuary. I knew you'd join us here, kid. Your energy is tied to this place.
My energy? What do you mean?
Thought I told you before, kid. I saw you leave that icebox. I know your pain. This world, it's not yours. But here you are. The site can help you, kid. It always has answers. Just gotta bring me some jet so I can see what it wants to tell you.
What's jet?
It's a little inhaler that packs a big kick. They say it makes you move faster, but at my age, it's more of a quick rush. The chems fuel the site, so it's not always gonna be jet I'm asking for. But that's what's on the menu this time.
Here. I already have some.
Like a little kick yourself, huh? This'll do. Now, let me ride the high to where the site wants to take me. Diamond City holds answers, but they're locked tight. You ask them what they know, but people's hearts are chained up with fear and suspicion. But you find it. You find that heart that's gonna lead you to your boy. Oh, it's bright. So bright against the dark alleys it walks. That's what you need to do, kid. Follow the signs to the bright heart. Phew. Wow. That took more out of me than usual. I'm gonna need to rest now, kid.
Speaking of resting.
Hey,
Got a favor to ask you, kid. I know it's silly, but I need a chair. Something with a nicer fit for these old bones. Can you do that for me?
sure. Be glad to help.
Thank you.
I kind of wonder what they're trying to introduce with Mama Murphy. Maybe this is a throwback to Fallout 1 and 2, which I didn't play, admittedly. Sadly enough. I remember you had the boy with the thinking cap under the 188 in New Vegas. Of course, that was an Obsidian project, and I wonder if they're bringing in something like that. Anyway, certainly gonna trust what she says, because she hasn't been wrong yet, knowing about things that she really couldn't really know about. And I guess the little hints or visions that she gives us or whatever, we'll know what she's talking about when we get there. A bright heart. I wonder if that's a special companion follower or somebody that we're going to meet. That would be kind of cool. Alright, so this is basically like a tutorial that how they set this out. Building Sanctuary, which is of course the first of our settlements. Although I guess it wouldn't necessarily have to be. We could have just left these people here on their own and just gone off to do other things. But I don't mind following it out. See what the game has to show me. But I guess this first one, even though maybe this video will be a little longer, this was fun. This is a lot of fun to me. I don't know how much fun it'd be to watch. I won't suffer you guys through everything I'm going to do here. I mentioned that before, is I plan on putting up some perimeter walls and stuff like that. But the little experience I have, what they do ask you to do is, like he says, make some beds, and then we'll go on to do some other basic things, and it's pretty much a blueprint or a pattern for your basic settlement or whatever. Anyway, I have plans for this spot right here, maybe to make it a commerce area for traders, set it up as something of a market, maybe have my own little personal flea market or something going on here. And then I have another prime piece of real estate on the other side of the workshop there that I want to use for my own house. And I already pretty much have a plan in my head on how I'm going to make that. Nothing super fancy. I'm not near as creative as some of you guys out there, but I have some ideas. It was pretty cool. I played with it a little bit, and I was like, you know, I can keep that, or at least the same concept anyway. And I do remember there's some things I'm going to need: a grill, maybe a patio table, and some other things. And there's some cool stuff that I'd rather not destroy in the backyard of some of these houses. Kind of clean up a little as I go, and this obviously just gives us fuel to build with, you know. Lumber and steel is the main parts of it. And then when you get off into defenses and stuff, then you need all the exotic stuff like copper and all this other stuff that is a lot more rare. That there's a perk on the special tree that involves whatchamacallit, recycling more raw materials from certain items and stuff, and I can see why that's there, because you can run out of that stuff really fast. Thus, through this playthrough, I will be going out of my way to carry just about everything. I'll probably value junk just as highly as I would weapons and stuff like that. At least some of the more exotic junk, like light bulbs and other things. I don't know, I guess, you know, like any other game, over time, you learn exactly what a certain item's going to give you, and so you start looking for that, you know. Okay, well, I use X amount of copper wire every time I build something, so I need to look for what gives me copper, and so you get a list in the back of your head of all the things that'll, you know, give you a copper return and stuff. But right now, I do know that having a crap ton of steel and wood is the #1 order here, so doing all this. Like I said, I'm not going to clean up the whole place here, but just kind of as I go along. And what I'm going to do is go in and make the beds, but I'm going to keep in mind that I plan on having quite a few settlers here. This would be, I guess, my home base, you know. Now, I don't know, there may be even a much cooler area to find later in the game, but that's fine. I mean, from what I gather, you can have plenty of settlements that they give you just a crap ton of places to build and stuff in the game. So, okay, that's cool. This won't be the only one, but this will be my main one, you know, the first one that we start with. And so I was thinking we'd go ahead and make it a big one. Go ahead and attract as many people here as possible. I know we'll eventually be able to recruit, put up beacons for people to follow, you know, so you can start, you know, kind of like moths to a flame type thing. Start gathering in roaming settlers. And then eventually you can attract merchants. And, oh, man, it's just, how cool is that? Just, that's a game in and of itself, seriously. This is like, I guess I can see why people get off of Minecraft so much. And stuff like that. And The Sims and what have you. I don't know if those two games are even closely resemble, but I know they involve like building stuff from scratch and putting your little mark on the world, so to speak. Well, this is definitely like that, but we get to put our mark on a Fallout world. I mean, okay, sorry, that's just a little over the top awesome right there. There's no two ways to look at that. That's just friggin' awesome. All right, so spruce up these rooms a little bit, kind of as I go, so I don't have to come back and do it later. But this is kind of how I envision my basic settlement. Give people a decent place to stay. And what we'll do is, this is in several steps. Like, this is just beds, but he's going to have us making resources, everything from water to food and all kinds of stuff. And the food's going to be a catch because I don't have any. We can actually plant crops and stuff, crazy as that is. And you can set up feeding troughs for Brahmin. So I'm thinking maybe clear out an area for a Brahmin pen, you know, a cattle pen sort of thing. Probably between some of these houses over here. Now, seeing as I haven't obviously got a lot of extensive playing time, I don't really know where threats would come from. Possibly from all directions, or if there's a particular route from which raiders might actually attack. From what I understand, that's a problem. I mean, you need defenses for a reason. And we all saw in the reveal trailer, raiders coming over the bridge. I believe it was this bridge here, attacking, and it showed turrets and flamethrowers and all this other crap set up, you know. And so, obviously that is a route of attack right there. That's something they've already shown us. I notice when you move a rug, sometimes it'll take everything sitting on top of it with it, which is cool because you can plant a base item, set things on it, and then when you move the base item, everything that's sitting on it will move with it. That's something to consider later when building houses. A certain mechanic. So I guess we can just call this Settlements 101, because that's really what it is for me. I can just see spending days on just this. When left with... I can't see really being left with nothing to do in this game. This game looks like it has the same replayability as Skyrim, but on steroids. Even more so, because there's even more stuff to do. And, well, it's just so much cooler. It really just is. Man, I could just see, if you did kind of say, I don't really feel like wandering out. Well, you could just do this. You could just, like, scrap your entire friggin' settlement and just make something else. I'm going to need these stools later. Let me go ahead and set those aside for a moment so I won't have to build any. I do tend to scrap things rather than move them around. It's much quicker, a little more expensive. Scrap something for 2 pieces of material and it takes 4 pieces to make it again. Some of these things I don't know that you can make, though, like boxes of files. If you wanted those laying around, I guess it might be a good idea not to scrap those. I'm not really worried about it, but something to consider. I think we'll put up a wall for a little privacy between the bathroom and this room here. Although the using of bathrooms isn't something that they've made a focus on in Fallout games that I've seen, but you will find them around. You know, when you gotta go, you gotta go at some point, right? You'd think. I don't think that'll fit there. I don't know. Also have to keep in mind that settlers need access to sit down. Like, you know, the AI is only going to go so far in, you know, having them walk around certain obstacles and stuff to get to a place, you know. So if I make a bed almost, you know, with no way to actually get to it, then it's not actually going to be used. I guess it would count. That would just leave a random settler walking around a lot because he can't find a place to sleep or something. Whatever. I wonder if the settlers even go so far as to, like, claim a house, you know? I doubt it. They probably just sleep wherever. Okay, so he asked for, what, 5 beds, I guess? It's going up by 20% each bed. So, yeah, okay. I guess he asked for 5. I'll probably make more like, I don't know. At least 10 or so. More if I can. Try to make them look decent. And then the house that I build, I can put however many more than that, too. So that's going to count. So I figure if I have beds for, oh, say, 20? Total, 20 or more settlers or whatever, you have to, like, plan accordingly for that. You have to create food for that. And then I remember seeing a note pop up before out of the corner of my eye that's something along the lines of whatever your food production is, or whatever numbers. You notice there's numbers all across the top. You'll have a certain number for power and then water and stuff. Everything needs to kind of match. If you have 20 beds, then you might want enough water and enough food to provide for 20 people, and so on and so forth. And I believe you can even assign people to do certain things, like to tend the crops and what have you. I don't know if we'll ever need this storage. I wonder if this is all considered safe storage. I mean, it's in our community. I wonder if the settlers can grab stuff and come and go as they please, too. That's another thing, equipping settlers. Not exactly sure. I mean, I would think since you're allowed to just pull anybody off to the side and just trade with them, that's how you do that. But, I don't know. Maybe it's something you give them some stuff and you leave and come back and they'll change clothes. I'm thinking armor and stuff like that for the settlers, or at least give them something to defend themselves with. I don't know if you can make lawn flamingos, but there's no point in wasting these. I think I'm going to have these. I'm thinking of making something of a sort of tiki bar on a deck in my house. Come on, man. If you can, do it. Right? Whatever you can think of, if you can do it, do it. Let's just make it fun. All right, so we'll exercise these later. I don't think I'm going to actually build our house. I really want to share that with you guys. Build the house together. I think that would be a lot of fun. So y'all can see what's in my head. And then, man, I would love a way to. You know what? if you guys take screenshots, PS4 takes screenshots really, really easy. If you guys take screenshots of your house, anyone who wants to do this, get a screenshot of your house and go to my Facebook page and post them there. I don't know if we can get a thing started with that. Hopefully it'd be more than just 1 or 2 people would kind of get a kick out of that. But what do you think? What do you think? Everybody could go post pictures of their favorite house or their pride and joy, their coolest settlement. If you've got some just 3D settlement that's just completely out of control or whatever, doesn't matter. We can do that. I mean, shoot. If you post it over there, I don't know if you can post directly to the page. I'm not exactly sure how all that works. I usually just use it as a place, as an alternate place to let you guys know that I've posted for the day. And you can even watch the video from there if you want to, I believe. But whatever, I know I'll get them in a message at least, and then I'll post them for you. Well, even if there's a flood of it, doesn't matter. Even if there's a flood of pictures. Now, please don't post like 20 apiece, like every settlement you got in the game. And no spoilers, please. Also, guys, no spoilers. Along with that, if you leave any comments with the pictures and stuff, try to keep that in mind. But anyway, that would be cool. If I wasn't poor, I'd even think of some kind of prize or something for coolest thing. Well, I mean, who's to judge, though? Who's got the coolest settlement? The coolest settlement is the one that you had a lot of fun with in the game. That's the coolest settlement, really. But, yeah, if you want to do that. So the link is down there in the About section below. Where to go? It's, it's Ninja Flips on Facebook. Anyway. That'd be really cool if any of you guys want to participate in that. I'd really get it. That's just for me. I'd really just get a kick out of seeing what you guys come up with. It'd be really awesome. All right, I told you guys I wasn't going to suffer you through all this cleaning up stuff, but there's going to be a lot more than this. I'm going to go all down by the river, grab every single piece of scrap, every branch, every trunk, everything. If it's not within the compound, then I want a clean line of sight outside of the compound. That's what I'm thinking. And I don't feel bad for taking out a lot of these trees, considering, well, they're all dead already anyway. You can just do anything with everything. This is just awesome. I can see someone with OCD just never stopping this, never getting like a month later. Where are you at in the story? Oh man, I haven't even started the story yet. I'm still messing around with Sanctuary. I can see that. I can see myself doing that. Okay, well it's all good then, I guess. It's your $60. Do with it what you want. If you want to build settlements all day, there you go. That was their thing. Do what you want, where you want, when you want, how you want. Simple as that. Yeah, I can make a room out of this. This is supposed to be like a baby's room or something, I guess. I haven't seen a kid yet because I haven't really been anywhere. I'm assuming there'd be maybe kids somewhere, or is that not a thing? Nobody's burying any children at all anymore or something. I guess that is kind of a thing. Nobody's having kids. Because the radiation, the nuclear stuff and all that. I guess. I don't know. I guess we'll find out if there's any kids around. I mean, there's been kids in, it was in Fallout 3. There was even some in New Vegas. Remember the kid with the thinking cap under the 188? That was, I mean, they put that in there for a reason. And it came with one of the DLCs, I believe, because I don't remember him being there until, I had some DLCs with my original copy and then went and got a Game of the Year edition. And with that, he pops up under, now I don't know if he was always there or not. I don't remember seeing him. Like, I sit there and say DLC, he may have just always been there, I just didn't notice. I think I would have, but maybe not. But, anyway. He was a kid with some special sight and all that. I wonder how Mama Murphy plays into the story. I mean, where'd she come from? You'll hear her, making little comments and stuff while she's talking to other people. She even mentions, like, killing a Deathclaw with one bullet. And she doesn't strike me as a liar. She doesn't strike me as one that just comes up with just any old thing and just, talks a bunch of nonsense. She doesn't come across that way, so I'm like, what's up with that? Who was she? Well, I'm sure we'll probably find out to some extent. Or maybe she's a mystery person. Maybe so. I don't know. So really, I'm just all I'm gonna do is just neaten up the inside of these houses. I may come and add some stuff later. You know, come and decorate when I have some extra, you know, wood on my hands or something just to play around with. But for right now, I just want to get all the trash that I don't need out of here. Get everything kind of situated, and then there'll probably be some open areas to do something with. Not every house has to just be a functional house. There could be all kinds of stuff. Maybe set up a full-blown bar in one of them and a diner. Huh. That's actually a thought, a diner. You know, a line of stoves and all that and a big counter, and I wonder. See, that's what I'm talking about right there. Just thinking of new stuff now. Talk about this land of opportunity they've given us here. Man, this is okay. I'm like all kinds of excited, like on several different levels with this game, if you can't tell. Y'all are like, yeah, we can tell, dude. You haven't shut up about it yet. I probably won't either, honestly. Actually, there is one house in the cul-de-sac, the area I was going to kind of make my, you know, my market or whatever. There is one house that might serve as a, I'll just trash that. That might actually serve as a diner of sorts or something like that. I don't know. So I'm guessing with the whole Minutemen thing, you eventually settle the wasteland. You settle the Commonwealth wasteland, right? I mean, basically, bring some you civilize it. Create basically as many settlements as you can, defend them, chase the raiders out, replace it with settlements for good people to just, you know, have some security and a place to call home and blah blah blah. Is that the case, that you can eventually basically take over the whole wasteland? I'm gonna turn this bathroom into a bedroom. Double bedroom, actually. Sometimes just a place to rest your head. That's it. Nothing fancy. This is just so cool, man. Okay, now I would rather these be kind of even. Well, it was a bathroom, dude. What do you expect? Well, whatever. See if I can't put some kind of something in there to make it less bathroomy. There, that'll do it. Random table time. Okay. I don't know why I'm wasting wood on this kind of stuff right now. That's, I guess, Fallout 4 logic. Scrap 50 items, only worth half their weight in materials, and then spend materials to make item. Basically the same thing you just scrapped 20 of, right? Okay, whatever. Doesn't matter. Looks cool to me. Alright, so that's clean. That's clean. I'll tell you what. There we go. Seating for 3. I think I'll leave that tree. Be a good safe spot, actually. Alright, let's see. Okay, so this is my old house right here. So we can't square this up a little bit. Apparently the bomb blast just knocked everything a few inches off. Which I guess it would do that. It is kind of cool if you can imagine an explosion raking across entire town. I mean, it would knock everything off just a little, like a huge earthquake type of thing, one big tremor. The last cool lamp in the wasteland right there. And we own it. We have no room for broken chairs, man. Okay, how bad would this suck? You've lost your family, watched your husband get shot in the face, right in front of your face, watch your child get kidnapped, and you come back here and everything you had was gone. At least we have Codsworth. Cool old Codsworth, even though Codsworth is being a little emo lately. He's still coming to terms with the nuclear war. 200-something years later, he's still coming to terms with it. Well, for an emotional robot, he's handling it well. What's this? I may keep that. Wonder if it actually still has our family picture on it. Damn, this is all that's left. Okay, now true enough, I may just be looking for things in the game. But then again, that gives me a lot more joy in the game, is to look for things and find them, right? But the whole feeling of loss. If you imagine a nuclear war, it's not just the cities getting blown up. It's not just the, you know, the things that were destroyed. It's not just that, okay, a lot of people died, obviously. Millions die in each nuclear blast and so on and so forth, right? But on top of all that, the children, the kids who didn't make these decisions, they didn't call for war. They weren't arguing about who gets the oil. They weren't doing all that. And sure enough, those are adult things that adults worry about and so on and so forth to make their economies go around, not so much to make the world go around. I think the world could also get along just fine without a lot of that. I know there has to be commerce and stuff. I mean, I get it. You know, there has to be governments, and I understand. I'm not talking about anarchy and all that stuff. That's no better off. That leads to this too. But as far as the bickering and the stuff and, you know, religious debates and all the other things that adults just obsess over, and then the kids, honestly, can't they just grow up? You know what I mean? Really? Do y'all have to do those things that make the whole world go boom and stuff? And the loss of the children, if nothing else. The adults, well, they kind of asked for this, right? But the kids sure as hell didn't. Especially the infants. What the hell? You know? So I don't know. There's a huge sense of that. You get to sit there and rearrange your baby's room. Baby's gone. Now, true enough, in our case, baby's kidnapped and is still alive somewhere. Don't have any idea how old the child's going to be now, because I'm not exactly sure when we woke up in cryo. Was it right before we woke up finally to escape the vault? Or was it some years before that? If it was right after we were put in cryo, then our kid would be dead 200 years later, unless he was put in cryo somewhere else or something. Anyway, like I said, that's all going to play out in the story. I'm in no rush to find out all that, but still questions I have. But regardless, there's that. With all the humor they throw into this game, and you have the action and stuff, you know, you run around and shoot up everything and blah, blah, blah. But with all that stuff said, there's still occasionally, if you stop and, well, once again, you kind of stop and smell the roses, there's the foreboding sense of, you know, this is what's become of the world type thing. And exactly, if you stop to think about what's gone, it's like, holy crap, that's pretty intense. Gold bars? Well, that's got to be good for something. Several gold bars. Is this like a throwback to New Vegas or something? You know, the whole gold bars leaving the Sierra Madre at the end, you know, the vault and stuff? I don't know if you call it Easter egg, but I wonder if that's what the reference is. Yeah, so we had somebody who was smart and made a fallout shelter, a bomb cellar, but where is the person? I mean, I don't mind all this stuff. That's awesome. But where did he or she or they go? Oh, look at that. I'm sorry, that's beautiful. Sky looks real. The trees are random, you know? It's got that natural look. Everything's blown the hell up. It's just, yeah. Once again, when they said welcome home, there you go. Of all the game universes to get immersed in, this is definitely at the top of the list. I really like the Mass Effect universe a lot. I like the Dragon Age universe. Although I get more immersed in the characters in Dragon Age than I do in the world itself. I can honestly say that. Maybe I should have kept that grill too. Well, too late now. But this world right here, even more so than Elder Scrolls, I gotta say, Fallout is a more, well, it's just, I don't know, it's the whole personality of the world itself. I really dig it. I really do. If we can get 2 beds in this one. Probably. Sure. Well, not if I can't get this thing in the corner. I could even go so far as to put up some walls. Same way I put up, you know, defense walls, you know, fences on the outside. Probably patch up some of these walls here. No one wants to sleep right next to an open wall. That wouldn't be cool. All right, we'll go fix that eventually. Like I said, I'll come back and do a lot of that. I'll go house to house and I'll check for open walls that I'd like to patch up, stuff that maybe I missed or whatever. And then, there we go. Perfect. And put up my perimeter fence, definitely. But it kind of falls into the whole tutorial here. And it's cool because we'll get to gather some more materials and stuff. So I'll go, you know, clean up and do all that. And then at some point, we'll be asked to make defenses and stuff. We'll, you know, get to set up some turrets and all that cool stuff. And so I'll include all that. But a lot of this other stuff I'll just do on my own. If I include you guys in that, it'd probably be like 8 videos worth of watching me walk around and move stuff around. Yeah, sorry. I think this is bad enough. Yeah, this place right here, this looks like a good spot for a diner of sorts. It's already kind of set up like that. I think I'm going to clear out most of this living room area. As far as the radios go and stuff, I do not have rights to the music. In fact, Bethesda will have licensed all the music for their game, obviously, right? But when that music plays, it's not even... I don't think Bethesda would really care. I think they like the free publicity that comes with YouTube videos and stuff. Especially someone like me that's constantly kissing their ass as far as, you know, oh, their game is so great. Oh, I love it, man. You know, and all that kind of stuff. So I don't think they mind that at all. But the people who wrote that music, whoever owns it, whether it be, you know, RCA Records or Capitol Records or whatever, you know, that's a whole different animal. And those people might object to the fact that I didn't pay for licenses to use their stuff, which is fair. That's their stuff. I don't have right to take it. But so you notice I'm not running around with the Pip-Boy on. I think the ambient music, which may even be an issue in a few of the games. It was with the Fallout 3 too, but it, you know, it is what it is. That's cool. But even that is is cool. It kind of fills the void, so to speak. So it's not like walking around just in dead silence feeling awkward. It hasn't been an issue, so. All right. Definitely making progress here. Okay, we a bunch of cleaning up to do here. Not sure where to put all this. Mr. Mopey walking around. Well, give the guy a break. He said a hard life. Well, okay. I don't know anyone who hasn't right now, to tell you the truth. Don't mean to be harsh, but walking around with that crap on your face while everyone else is kind of doing their thing at some point. Well, at some point, the mutants in the wasteland don't really care about your feelings. you need to just knuckle up and get over it. I think the issue with this guy and his wife, who's being a real bitch right now, and we're supposed to understand that too, is that they just lost a kid, which, I mean, I get it. I think our character is basically in the same boat. So we got something we can actually talk about there if you want to talk about it. But you don't see me standing around with the sad pouty face, wanting everybody to come by and tell me everything's going to be just fine. It might not be just fine. Maybe you have to do a little something for yourself and for everyone else to make it, you know? Just saying. That's not me being harsh, that's the world being harsh. Me just calling it, you know, saying, hey, world really doesn't care. The super mutant isn't going to stop shooting you in the face with a minigun just because you got a sad face. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what I'm talking about there, so. I'm thinking I can use all that concrete. It's going to come in handy because I'm not seeing it give me a lot of concrete from stuff. So maybe that's another one of the more rare items. You know, knowing Fallout, I'm going to guess that there are spots in the world that are notorious for getting a lot of a particular thing. Like copper wire. There will be some factory somewhere filled with deadly robots, no doubt, or something, you know, everything that wants to kill you. But once you clear it out, then there will be a resource, or a source for resources that you can have. I would not doubt that. That would be my guess. Kind of a chill area over here. We can just kind of hang out. I want my settlement to be comfortable and casual. And thriving. Thriving. I really can't wait to see how the whole merchant economy thing works. Let me know what you guys think at some point. Not that I'll ever really get it, but if I do get it, actually it's probably not rocket science, so this will probably be a waste of time, but I'll throw it out there. Maybe just the thought of doing a video on overall settlements, you know, like the basic stuff, like setting up an economy, things to look out for, certain, like, it does go by numbers to an extent. I know that. Like we were talking about before, the amount of water you have kind of needs to be matched with the number of beds you have, the amount of food you have, considering the number of people you have, and your defenses, everything needs to be kind of in line there. And so everything has to match. If you've got all kinds of, you got enough resources for 20 people and you're making all this food and water, that attracts raiders, and your defenses are only at 3 or 4 or 5 or something, then you can't defend the place. Raiders are going to attack a lot more often, which may be your thing. You may want to kill a lot of raiders trying to attack your settlements, but at some point you may be caught questing or something, and I don't know if there's a timer on that, you know, kind of like a hidden timer on the amount of time raiders have to attack your settlement before they finally just take it. And then once they do, what do? Can they kill your named NPCs, you know, the important people? Well, everybody's important, but I'm saying like your actual characters that you have to deal with and stuff, your merchants. That would suck.
Hey, Sturgis.
Sturgis?
I like it.
Sturgis.
Having a place to sleep will improve everyone's spirits. What we need now is a reliable source of clean water.
What do you mean?
Like a well. Then we don't have to keep drinking the river water. That stuff's not good for you.
All right, cool. All right, so now we can make water pumps. They even showed that in the reveal trailer. Setting water pumps around and stuff. All right. See, we'll put one by the crops. I plan on this being my farm here. Gotta find a way to protect it, though. That's the thing. We're gonna have to build some nice perimeter walls, guard stations down here. There's gonna be a lot of wood and steel spent down here by the river, because we're not letting anything come up out of the river. In fact, I'm leaving. Notice these junk houses right here. I could very easily scrap those for some steel, but I think it would cost more steel making walls to replace them, and instead of just using them as a natural barrier and just leaving them there. That's cool. If they just become an eyesore in my otherwise beautiful community one day, well, maybe I'll just hide them with more perimeter fencing or something. Or dress them up, or... Well, I guess there'll be a certain point where steel and wood just isn't going to be an issue. You have so much of it. Maybe that'll be the case, and then I can scrap them and replace them with other stuff. Replace them with actual other buildings that have some kind of function. What if we could get, like, I don't know, 50, 60, even 100 people here? Turn this into, like, a city. It could happen. I don't know how many settlers you can actually draw max. Maybe there's some kind of point where we can put one near where my house is going to be. And the cool thing is I can just move that at any time. That's a little less realistic. I think once you dig a well for a pump and get it down there, you probably can't just go move it when you want, you know. But whatever. All right, so let's give everyone access. And, okay, so it provides 3 units of water, right? Or enough water for 3 people, I'm guessing, right? Per pump. So we're at 24, and we can just add them as we go. If you run out of spots, I noticed they also have things you can hook up to generators. And they're like water purifying little stations and stuff, which is cool. So if you're in an area where there's not any soil, I can think of one offhand. It's like a drive-in. I do remember coming across a drive-in that has a workbench, so you can use it as a settlement if you want to.
I feel better already, knowing we have a reliable supply of clean water. I hope you don't mind me asking for some more help, but our food supplies are running low. If we're gonna settle here, we'll need to get some crops established.
What kind of crops are you looking for?
It doesn't much matter. Potatoes, mute fruit, corn, whatever you can get to grow.
Mute fruit, huh? Well, I saw some mute fruit, but it doesn't give me the option to actually plant any that I see.
Help out or get lost.
Or I just don't have any. I guess it does. Okay. Whatever. Well, I did pick some of this. I think we will come across an actual farm. So, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and plant these, but this is... I don't have enough food that I'm able to plant right now. Oh, wow. It just started swaying in the wind and stuff. It looked actually really natural once I planted it. That's cool. We'll go find some more potato plants and stuff. Doesn't matter. We'll go do all that. So I think... before we do anything else, before we build my house and other stuff like that, we'll go off on this little quest for what's his name? Garvey? Garvin? Why do I not remember his name? Anyway, the Minuteman guy. We'll go do his little quest and go help his settlers, and give us an adventure. I want to go shoot some things up. Anyway, but we'll go off and do that, and then hopefully collect some food along the way. Maybe some more stuff to bring back and supply and equip our people. It's interesting, you can assign them to certain plants. Well, that could get confusing. I guess each time you plant 6 new plants, you can assign a worker for those plants. I guess that's how that works. And not every plant needs a worker to tend to it or something? I don't know. Like I said, there's still stuff to learn. And it'd be, maybe it would be a good idea to do a video on that regardless. Just the basics, you know, food, resources, water, setting up defenses, keeping track of the numbers, and all that to keep a secure, safe haven, I guess you could say. But I'll go do that quest, and then we'll come back eventually. I think we'll come back. I don't know. We may just go get lost out in the wasteland, but I plan on coming back and get some food planted, turn that in, finish up whatever we need to do here, and then we'll build a house. How does that sound? But on the next one, we need to go kill all the things. That's what I think. All right, if you want to subscribe, click that button up top. Appreciate you watching. If you want to catch the rest of this Let's Play, you can click that image in the middle. It'll send you straight to the playlist. All right, y'all take care, have fun, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.